Well, your canon is not just 27 books, right?
We're referring to the New Testament.
Yes, right. So you'll accept it if I bring you this text from the Old Testament, the debate can be over then, right?
Psalm 69?
Oh, you know that there's a verse that says that they're Mary's children, doesn't it?
I challenge you to prove that. I challenge you.
So Psalm 69:8 says this, I am become a stranger unto my brethren and an alien unto my mother's children. It doesn't use the name Mary, but it says my mother's children. Who's the mother of Jesus?
Yeah, so here's your number one issue. Particular portion there is never quoted or applied to Christ in the New Testament. If you're trying to say all of Psalm 69 is messianic and about Christ, well, now you've made Christ a sinner because the psalmist there has folly and the psalmist there has guilt.
Doesn't Augustine say that it's about Jesus even when it talks about him being a sinner? And he says that's because Jesus bears our sins that he's called that. Isn't that correct?
Well, that would be a phenomenal debate to have, but I do know that Augustine never applies those verses about the mother and the children to Christ. Nobody's arguing Psalm 69 is not messianic. It is messianic, but not the totality of it, because there are a lot of areas in there, guilt, folly, where it strongly shows that the psalmist is a sinner, and we apply those to Christ. So in order for Psalm 69 to be applied to Christ, that area where it's referring to the mother and the children, you're going to have to give me a quote in the New Testament tying it together. There is none.
So the statement that I just quoted for you is connected by the word for to the next verse, which says, for the zeal of your house has eaten me up. And that is explicitly said to refer to Christ.
Does it quote the mothers and the brethren portion, though?
So your concern is that half of the sentence isn't quoted and the other half is?
Oh, no. My concern is the fact that the verse that you think is the magical one to refute the perpetual virginity is never quoted. If every line here is Christ speaking, he's a fool, he has sins, which is impossible. Every verse in some...
May I pause you just for a second? I think you said a minute ago that you're not familiar with what Augustine said about those other verses you're quoting. And you said no one says these are about Jesus. But in fact, Augustine does say they're about Jesus.
And I would challenge you to quote that Augustine says that Christ is a fool. I would challenge you to quote that. I challenge you to do that.